A man can't go out the way he came in. A man has got to add up to something.
In our previous series on the concept of delayed maturity, we explored why this phenomenon is so prevalent in our times.
Due to the demise of the traditional family and an absence of rites of initiation, many boys lack male role models.
They are emerging into adulthood, stuck in what Robert Moore and Douglas Gillette called boy psychology. In this series, we will provide a guide for how to outgrow boy psychology and attain manhood. We will look away from contemporary Western culture, which is overwhelmed by ideas viewing masculinity as toxic. We approach manhood from an anthropological perspective, drawing from David Gilmour's Manhood in the Making. We will examine what differing cultures across the world have thought regarding the question, what does it mean to be a man? The purpose is to isolate traits, virtues, and attitudes essential to manhood, creating a map to outgrow boy psychology. This map will help us achieve the cross-culturally recognized benefits that are the prerogative of the potent man.
In the present crisis of masculinity, we do not need less masculine power, but more of the mature masculine. We need more man psychology, developing calmness about masculine power, avoiding dominating behavior toward others.
We must differentiate between biological maleness and manhood. Manhood is not defined by physical characteristics alone. It must be achieved through effort and development.
The Fox tribe of Iowa calls the attainment of manhood the big impossible, achieved only by a masterful few. Unlike biological sex, manhood is not a given, but a prize to be won through dedication and struggle. As Norman Mailer wrote, "Nobody was born a man. You earned manhood provided you were good enough, bold enough." David Gilmour explains that real manhood is different from anatomical maleness. It's not a natural condition. Rather, it is a precarious or artificial state that boys must win against powerful odds to achieve. This notion that manhood is problematic is found among hunters, fishermen, peasants, and urban people across all continents. To understand why real men are made, not born, we must investigate the greatest threat to manhood. This greatest threat to manhood, cross-culturally, is psychological regression, a return to an infantile state.
Unlike autonomous animals, a human's first year is spent in prolonged dependence on the mother. Just as a fetus is physically contained, an infant is psychologically contained within the mother.
From the infant's perspective, the mother is the great mother, providing love, security, and nourishment.
She is the child's entire world, the source of warmth, protection, and all-nourishing sustenance. After the first year, the child begins a crucial phase of self-discovery and independence, a developmental process. The infant's growing awareness of itself as separate, coupled with physical mobility, marks its autonomy.
While both genders experience these growing pains, this stage of development proves especially difficult for boys.
A girl's prior psychological immersion in the mother promotes her feminine identity, reinforcing her self-image.
To achieve a masculine identity, the boy must resign his identification with the mother and the feminine world.
David Gilmour states, the boy's problem is overcoming unity with the mother to achieve an independent masculine identity. The girl doesn't face this acutely, as her femininity is reinforced by symbiotic unity with her mother. Her identification with the mother precedes self-identity and culminates in her own motherhood. The boy's independent self must differ from his mother in ego identity and social role. Thus, for the boy, the task of separation and individuation carries an added burden and peril.
Throughout history, rites of initiation have assisted boys in the process of separation and individuation.
Through trials and tests overseen by male elders, the boy dies symbolically, and is reborn a man. Gilbert Hurt noted, "Femininity unfolds naturally, whereas masculinity must be achieved, and here is where the male ritual cult steps in."
In the modern West, adequate male role models capable of initiating boys into manhood are few.
Many men are emerging into adulthood without having left the psychological womb of the mother, remaining dependent. Not taught to embrace struggle or self-reliance, many are consumed by lethargy, seeking to evade reality.
They escape danger by seeking solace at the mother's side, avoiding the ceaseless enterprise of potent men.
Thomas Gregor describes this as taking the path back to fusion with the mother and the pleasures of infancy.
Carl Jung called this the spirit of regression, threatening us with bondage to the mother and extinction.
Succumbing to this spirit, we adopt lifestyles antithetical to manhood, avoiding responsibility and growth.
Jung repeatedly warned of the incestuous marriage to the mother, where one remains psychologically bound.
This psychological womb can extend well into old age, hindering a man's full development and independence.
Jung described a man living regressively, seeking his childhood and mother, fleeing a cold, cruel world.
Often, a mother shows no concern for her son to become a man, neglecting efforts to hinder him.
You behold the secret conspiracy between mother and son, each helping the other to betray life.
Others, consumed by regression, break free from the mother's womb, only to adopt the Peer Gynt lifestyle. Psychologist Rollo May called this the myth of males in the 20th century, highlighting a specific life pattern.
Peer Gynt is a man characterized by two contradictory desires: to be admired and to be taken care of by women.
The first desire leads to machismo, but this power serves to please the figurative queen, the woman.
These two desires are contradictory. The woman holds the final judgment and power over him. He is a slave serving the queen. His self-esteem depends on her smile and approval.
The spirit of regression can also lead to harmful lifestyles not centered around psychological dependence on a woman.
Erich Neumann argues that world weariness, neurotic sickness, or placid acceptance signify regression. These attempts to avoid struggle signify that the spirit of regression is active in our mind.
Neumann states regressions give rise to anxiety neuroses, phobias, addictions, and psychoses if the ego is destroyed.
To break free from the spirit of regression and move towards manhood, we need to cultivate a heroic attitude.
This attitude is expressed in countless myths, with the dramatic tale of Tannhäuser and Venus being a notable example. In this myth, the knight Tannhäuser is approached by the beautiful goddess Venus, who asks him to join her. On Venusberg, she promises his every desire will be satisfied by her and her attendants, the naiads and sirens.
Tannhäuser accepts her offer, remaining in this paradisal feminine world for a year, indulging in pleasures.
But he soon grows weary, overcome by an intense moral conflict, questioning his passive life. Should he remain on Venusberg, or renounce this passive life and embrace meaningful struggle in the world?
After agonizing deliberation, Tannhäuser decides to leave Venusberg, choosing a path of greater purpose. He declares, "I must return to the world of men. I stand prepared for battle, even for death and nothingness." David Gilmour writes, "The knight mastered the most primitive of the demands of the pleasure principle."
This means resisting the temptation to become overly reliant on external support, avoiding a state of prolonged immaturity. As Michael Hopf puts it, weak men create hard times, emphasizing the need for strong masculinity. David Gilmour summarizes, "Real men tame nature, reinvent social order, and create value from nothing."